I met him like pretty much like right out of high school. My mom was just so in love with the fact that he was older.
How bad was it for you to say it was a mess?
So she's like trying to take him from me, and I'm like no. So he's like this between us or whatever. I'm over here trying to, and she's like really like digging to get him. We're at his mom's house. I wanted to really like take this woman out. Like I got so many people in my ear about like how I should go about the situation.
Yeah. Call the police.
They made me feel like SHIT. I never really had my real dad in my life. I just always felt like alone. I've been on child support, and that has been my schedule for going on 2 years. Everything that me and him have gone through, I will never take away the fact that he's a great father.
Daddy! Take a real man to be a daddy. Mommy? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, go!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Family Call podcast. My name is Mustafa, and I thank you all for being here with us. Today, I have Ayodele.
Ayodele.
Ayodele. Ayodele.
Yep.
Okay. I was having a hard time pronouncing it. Ayodele. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes more sense.
Everybody thinks it's pronounced like that too, though.
Yeah? Ayodele.
Yeah.
Where was it from?
You said, where is it from?
Yeah.
Nigeria.
Okay. Are you half Nigerian? You are?
Not half, but it's in there.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's dope. All right, so Ayodele. Ayodele. Ayodele, all right, she is a mother of one, an aspiring entrepreneur in the medical field. She runs a trucking business and also operates an Airbnb. Did I get all right?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, so before we get started, I wanted to touch a little on your businesses. And again, if you don't want to share anything too personal, I completely understand.
I'm
All
really an open book, so
Yeah? Okay.
yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
All right, so the medical field, are you a nurse or RN or what do you do?
I'm a medical assistant.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's basically like right under a nurse.
Okay. Your trucking business. So do you own trucks or are you what do they call them? A dispatcher?
Right. So right now I am in I'm doing the administrative assistance for my friend's trucking company.
Okay.
But soon, very, very soon to be a dispatcher. So I'm actually like getting everything ready for that as we speak. So yeah, definitely plan on getting my own truck and dispatching that truck out. And at least I want to, but before the year is over with, I definitely want like 4 to 5 trucks. Like
Really?
dispatching 4 to 5 trucks. Yes.
That's amazing though.
So
That's dope.
yeah.
That's dope. All right, so your Airbnbs. Do you do the experience as well?
You said, do I do what?
The experience. You know, in the Airbnb, I think they give you like an experience where the host can show you around town or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You know what I'm
I
talking
haven't
about?
heard
You never
about
seen
that.
it? Like
No.
when you travel in certain areas, I guess the apartments have the options to basically sightseeing with the host.
Oh.
You know, maybe I'm misquoting it, but it's something similar to that where you get the experience of really living into a new area.
Oh, that's nice. I have
Yeah.
not heard about that. I actually like seen a lady post about like the Airbnb experience, but I thought that was just like because the space was like like had games and stuff like that. So I thought it was just like a fun Airbnb to be at, as the experience.
Right.
Yeah. So I didn't know it was like a whole thing. I have not heard about that.
Yeah.
But that does seem like dope though.
Like most people, like when you travel abroad, like you see it mostly abroad. You know, when they come to France, for example, or to go to Italy, many of them want to, you want to go out and sightseeing. So the hosts have the option. And again, I may be misquoting it, but I think it's something close to that. Where the host will, show you around town. You pay a little bit more, of course.
Yeah.
You got a place to stay, and they can show you around town and just have a good time. You know what I mean? So,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So, yeah, like the Airbnb that I'm actually like really just helping with it. It's my boyfriend's Airbnb. His family has like Airbnbs and everything.
Wow.
So, but I always wanted to get into the Airbnb business for my own.
Okay.
So he's definitely just been like teaching me the ins and outs of it, and I'm also seeing like the struggles and everything that he goes through.
I know recently the market
with
got a little
owning.
tight for them. Yeah.
Yep. So it's been a great experience, but Yeah, I guess like we help each other. Like he's teaching me, but I'm also like trying to, like help him
Learning.
get it more out there and everything because it's right there by the airport.
Oh.
It's very convenient.
Right.
And it's very like nice and everything. So I have to send you the pictures.
Right.
But yeah.
That's dope. But let me ask you this though. Okay, again, you don't have to answer this. So with all these businesses, what do you find time to mother?
Where do I find time?
Yeah.
I think like just like with the businesses, I feel like I'm very organized.
Okay.
So, like I just find like that day I'll work on one thing and the next day I'll work on another thing and then you know what I'm saying, like whenever I do have my son, then I kind of like just dedicate my time to that, like no working. You know what I'm saying, for unless it's like an emergency. But yeah, and then he's older now too, so he's more like, "Oh, mom, leave me alone." And I'm like,
again, I hope my question wasn't intrusive. I'm just trying to, I don't know, I'm just trying to clarify for people that want to get into businesses and to have children, how you can really, I guess, balance the two, because it's not always easy.
Yeah, it's definitely not always easy. I would just say, just like with anything, you're going to find time for it, period. You know what I'm saying? You just have to make time for it if that's what you really want. Yeah, but you can definitely do it. I know a lot of people used to say, I haven't really heard it so much nowadays, but a lot of people used to say, "Oh, you give up your life when you have children," and you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. That's not true at all.
Yeah, that's not
that is not true. It's just you're doing everything else with your kids.
Exactly.
Like, you know,
that's
they're just a bonus, or you know what I'm saying, they're just adding on to
Right.
whatever you want to do with your life.
Yeah.
So
I'm actually glad that you mentioned that, because most people, that's why they have that notion. There was a video that I posted on my page. I don't know if you saw it. A mother, she took her daughter into a 24-hour daycare so she can go out.
oh yeah, I just seen that.
You seen?
Too.
Yeah. So a lot of people were mad at her because they were like, that time of the night, the child's supposed to be at home.
So just a short video of me dropping my kid off at the 24-hour daycare at like 10 p.m.
Do you know about what time you'll be picking up?
I'm not sure. Probably like in an hour or two.
Closes right at 12.
Okay. She won't be here that long. Now, they advertise that they be open 24 hours, but they actually don't. They be open until like 12, and it's fine, because I literally picked her up at 11:55 after telling him she won't be here that long. But it was cool, because there was like 20 other kids there, and they had like a glow-in-the-dark party. So it's a win for both of us. I get a break from her, and she actually enjoyed it.
Like, I have mixed feeling about it, because she could have left the kid by herself. I mean, by herself at home.
Yep.
But she decided to go take her somewhere that somebody can actually watch and pay for it. Exactly. You know what I mean? So I applaud her for that. At the same time, I understand, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was what, around 10 p.m.? You get what I mean? So
thank God that I feel like that was a great business to come up off of. Okay, a 24-hour daycare.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I know a lot of people. Yeah, especially, I don't know if we have one here in Atlanta.
They need more of those.
Yeah.
So if you are listening to this and you want you a daycare, I'll like listen.
But I mean, so you agree with that, Mom?
Listen, okay. As being a mom is literally not easy work. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times when you don't have a good support system, you don't have that village, it would drive you crazy.
You can lose your head.
It would drive you up the wall, okay? Yeah. And so, for her, I'm not mad at her, because she's probably with her baby all day, every day, cannot catch a break. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, and it's good for her. It was good for her to, find that daycare to drop her kid off with, like somebody hopefully responsible.
Right.
And, like finding time for herself. You know what I'm saying? Whether that's early in the morning, in the daytime, late at night, it doesn't even matter. You know what I'm saying? As long as that child is safe, because, it's so many.
That was my point. Yeah.
There's so many, like, messed up souls out here who literally do not
prey on
children. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
They do not deserve children.
Right. Yeah.
And, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people leaving their kids at home or leaving them with, like just horrible people and, and, like, things happening to their children. So, yeah. If
no,
that worked
right.
for her, then that worked for her.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And it's funny that you say that, because when I started this organization, a lot of people were mostly single mothers. They were jumping on me thinking that I'm cheering for the dads and I'm not cheering so much for the mother. You know what I mean? And a lot of video that people used to send me is mostly mothers doing something crazy to their children. Like I think it was last week, I posted another one. The mother mistaken a crib, and she took her baby into the oven. And when she got arrested, because the baby ended up dying, when she got arrested, she told the police that she thought she was putting the baby in a crib, and then she turned the oven on. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
so and it's not a laughing matter, but it's just when I
Right.
post things like that, a lot of people get offended, especially single mothers. They think that I'm coming after mothers, but the reality is I'm trying to find a way for us to co-parent better. You know what I mean? I feel like sometimes most mother, and again, you can correct me if I'm wrong with this. I feel like most mothers, they have this notion that the moment a child is here, I can do it all by myself. You know what I mean? As
Yeah,
opposed to
a
letting
lot
the
of
father step in and also help. Most of them don't do that. So most of the things that I post on my page and all my platforms really is to encourage a healthy co-parenting relationship, which actually brings us to this podcast today, because of the amazing co-parenting relationship that you have with your child's father. And I know that it wasn't always perfect.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I want to talk a little bit about that process of you getting to that perfect place. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
again, you're an open book, you say, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so again, I want you to tell me, how bad was it before it got? I mean, the truth.
It was so bad. So, and actually, I actually just had this conversation with my boyfriend last night. Like, because it's such a like a sticky conversation, but I also feel like I want to be open about it and let people know, because there could be I don't know, like, the age range of your listeners.
Right.
And hopefully I pray
Yeah,
to God.
it goes down to, last time I checked, it was all the way down to 17 and up
Okay,
to
good.
62.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Because I was like, I pray to God this saves somebody else. You
It
know
will.
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It saves like a
absolutely.
young lady. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because, oh my goodness. But
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 29.
29. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, I'm 29. So I got pregnant at, I believe, like 20.
You were
Yeah,
young.
20. And I had him at like 21.
Okay.
And so me and his father, he's 3 years older than I am.
Okay.
And I met him like pretty much like right out of high school. I was like my first year in college. And he actually lived in Georgia. I was living in California at the
Okay.
time. And my mind was just so in love with the fact that he was older and he just got a job with Delta.
Okay.
And you know what I'm saying? So I'm
Right,
just
right.
thinking about like, ooh, like I ain't never had this before.
Right.
Like, oh yeah, I like this. So, like a very like immature mindset.
What do you call that? The fairy tale love story.
Right.
Okay.
So fast forward, like we have Nolly and everything. It was just, I don't know, it was just a mess.
Let me ask you this though. When you say so this is after the child was born, obviously.
Yeah.
Were you keeping the child from him, or the relation? Was the communication bad, or like how bad was it for you to say it was a mess?
So yeah, no, we were still together.
Okay.
We were living together. Like that was fine and everything. It was a mess because like Nolly, he when he was born, he had got he pooped he pooped in my stomach or whatever, and some of the poop got into like his lungs, and like babies can die like that.
Right.
So he was in NICU for about like 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And like I couldn't stay up there with him. Well, we couldn't stay up there with him or whatever, so we would have to like go up there throughout the day and
Visit him,
visit him and
Right.
everything. So there was a time where because I wanted to breastfeed, and and it was actually like helping
help
get
him,
that
right.
remove that up out of his lungs and everything.
I can't imagine going through something like that though. That's tough.
Right. So I had to make sure he had that the milk supply so they wouldn't try to give him no formula or like even if they did give him formula, it would be more milk supply than the
Then
formula.
right.
Right. So it was just a time where like I asked him to like take me up there and he was just like no, like all this type of stuff and my mom like she just didn't really
Mama wasn't feeling
like
it.
him. Yeah, she wasn't feeling him at all.
But let me ask you though, was he working? Was he like working
Um,
overnight or for him to say
yeah, I
no?
think during this time he had the pregnancy I don't know what they call like when the guys leave work, but
You know, like when the guy leaves work, like
yeah, like when they have a baby, like when the
oh, paternity leave.
yeah paternity leave.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the same term for men
Yeah,
or
yeah, it's somewhat similar. Yeah, it's somewhat
oh,
similar.
okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he was off, for a couple
So
weeks
he
or
was on
whatever.
paternity leave, and he didn't want to go to the hospital.
Yeah, he was just tired.
Was he? Was he? Because I think sometimes at least our daughter didn't really go to some similar to you guys, but she was getting very constipated because of the milk. You know, we were still new
Yeah.
parents trying to figure out what milk or what milk formula to give her, so she used to get constipated.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that used to do something to me. You know, so you
Yeah.
think maybe it was one of those things where he was just too
Like exhausted.
hurt to see his,
Oh.
to see the baby like that.
Mm, I don't know because it was never communicated. So, if it was, then hey. But it probably just could have been like communicated better as to why you couldn't take me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, or you could have like to me it's all about delivery. You know what I'm saying? So you can tell me anything, but it's just all about your delivery with me. So you could have been like, "Oh, babe, like I'm really exhausted. Just give me a second to wake up, or just give me a few seconds, please."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, "Okay,
I do.
fine." But yeah, so that happened or whatever. Yeah, and then like fast forward, getting out of that relationship.
So would you say the problem it didn't get worse for you guys until after the breakup of the relationship or within the
Right.
relationship?
Right. So I guess like one of my problems during the relationship and having a child was like, like he would like, go to work or whatever. And when he got home, he just wanted to like be by himself and not help me with the child. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like not help me with Denali. And so, and I wasn't understanding that in my head. I'm young, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, hello, I'm here all day with him, like,
right.
but
You need
it's
a break.
like, like he be at work all day too, and you know what I'm saying. That's not easy either. But
Yeah. I think that's the mistake that we make, and I can actually admit that I was guilty of this as well, because at the time I was a manager at a company. I had a lot of associates under me. You know what I mean? So going to work, you're working 11 hours. When you come home, you're tired.
right,
But not understanding that mom also needs a break.
right,
You know what I mean? So I think I'm guilty of that as well. And I think that's something that as fathers we can do better. We can get better at. I don't know. I guess it comes down to communication.
literally,
Having a nice open communication with your significant other. I think it makes a big difference.
it does. It definitely does. It's really just about communication.
Yeah.
And delivery, because in those times you're like probably aggravated or you're frustrated or you just really need to decompress from whatever you know what I'm saying you have built up, and a lot of the times like we don't.
Yeah.
So
I think that's the problem with most us young. I guess we can say young couples. We don't communicate.
definitely not.
Is that you expect your significant other to like read your mind or something like that. You know what I mean?
Definitely, yeah. Right. And I was like, like he was younger. He's an older child. I was younger. I'm the baby girl in the family.
Okay.
So
You was spoiled. I see.
right. So it's like
Okay. But let me ask you though, was your mom able to come and help? The days that, let's say, he can't help or he's giving you some attitudes, was your mom able to come and help? Or a family member?
I would probably like go to his mom's house. And she was pretty helpful. her and his sisters. My mom, you know, she stays in another state, so it wasn't like so easy for her to, you know. Right. But sometimes I would go down there and visit her too. But yeah, so I just had to like kind of get it where I could get it.
Okay. Yeah. So moving forward, you guys broke up. You moved out.
Yep.
Okay.
I
And
left.
how did that relationship with the child?
Right. So that it got pretty rocky. So I left, and of course I took Denali, and we were staying at my dad's mom's house, so my grandmother.
Right.
And like, yeah, so like I had him and everything. I wouldn't stop his dad from seeing him or anything, cause
that's the issue that many of us have now. You know what I mean? That's actually one of the reasons why my podcast exists, because, well, not podcast, just the whole platform in general exists, because I'm trying to facilitate, facilitate fathers getting access to their children. You know what I mean?
That's very big.
Yeah. Many of us, I would say, but I see that mostly here. And see, when I say American women, I don't mean this in any negative way at all. You know what I mean? But you see it mostly in this country where the mother will keep the kids from the father just because mom don't like the way dad is doing things.
Right.
You know what I mean? And one thing that I actually had another podcast, I was telling the lady this exact same thing. A man can be a terrible husband. He can be a terrible boyfriend or fiance and be an amazing father.
Oh, definitely.
You know what I mean? Like
Definitely.
many of us, we have never seen what love really looks like. And it's very hard to give it. You know what I mean? Like you never been there before. So,
definitely.
So you moved out. How was the communication there? I can only imagine it probably got worse.
Oh yeah, it did.
It did.
It definitely did. It definitely got worse.
Yeah.
And then after staying with my grandmother, I moved in with my friend and like their family, and you know, like they were just pretty much trying to help me get back up on my feet because in that relationship I depended on him for everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was a stay-at-home mom. And you know, like whatever I like needed or wanted, I would have to, you know, like ask him. Cause
so you left school after you had your baby? Or?
Yep, I dropped out. I dropped out. Not even after I had him. So before I had him, before I even came back to Georgia, like I dropped out, came to Georgia to be with him.
That was love.
You know
you must love them back then, yeah.
And then because I was just like young, and I'm like living like what we could go on trips and you know what I'm saying, like all that type of stuff. And yeah, so I got here. We were together for like a year or two, and then like I had Denali, and then while I was pregnant, we got married.
Really? That's good though.
Married.
At least, so the baby came out of the marriage.
Yeah.
Or was it after? You said what after you got pregnant?
So so after I got pregnant, during the pregnancy, that's when we got like married. It wasn't for the right reasons though.
But at least the baby came out of the marriage though. You know what I'm saying? Like you didn't give birth out of wedlock or anything like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And again, I guess it depends on the situations, but at least you took that step.
Right.
You know, so that's good.
Yep. So, yeah. So back to like, let's see, broke up and everything. Yeah, I'm trying to like.
You good. Take your time.
Yeah. So the communication, it got really bad. It got so bad to where like, oh yeah, cause like my friends' family were like helping me get back on my feet, and so at that point I was living in like Flowery Branch, and so. And you know, like at this time too, like I got so many people in my ear about like how I should go about the situation, and he got so many people in his ear about how to go about the situation. And I've always been like that very like naive girl who just, they told me to say this, so I'm gonna say that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, what should I say? Okay, I'm gonna say that. What's like I couldn't think for myself.
I see. What was the worst thing you said to him? If you can remember, what was the worst thing you ever said to him?
The worst thing I ever said to him.
If you can remember.
Honestly,
But that's good. But you can't remember.
No, it's not that I can't even remember. It's like I'm just really like not a confrontational person at all. I really try to keep the peace for real.
Okay.
So like I remember like even like just last year he like really made me mad but I was like just like you really treat me like I'm the gum on the bottom of somebody's shoe. Like
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I say stuff like that. Like I never like call him out his name even.
But that would hurt me though. That I think that hurts more than you going off on him.
No,
What you
it
just said,
didn't.
like you treat me like like something out of the bottom of your shoes. That's gonna hurt me more than you yelling at me.
You would think, but like me getting mad at him and expressing that, he fuels off of that. He likes that. You know what I'm saying? Because he know like I'm not that type of person. I don't yell. I don't put my hands on you. I don't do any of that.
You seem pretty chill. Yeah.
Yeah, like this is how I've been like this and I'm still like this. Like
Right.
you know what I'm saying? And he knows that. Like he used to always say like, "Oh, you're so nonchalant, you're so nonchalant." And it's just like, no, I'm just not about to argue with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We can sit down and have a civil conversation about whatever. But for me to like raise my voice is very cringy to me. And it's a lot of like energy. And I don't feel right doing it.
Right. So what's the worst thing he ever said to you?
The worst thing he ever said to me?
Because I want to be fair. I know I ask it. See, I have a lot of mothers that watch my show, so a lot of them think that when I ask a question to my guests, they always ask, "Why are you asking her?" And you're not asking about the guy as well. You know, so I'm trying to be fair with my questions. Okay, so the worst thing he ever said to you?
The worst thing he ever said
during
to
that time
me.
frame that you're talking about.
Honestly, I don't even know.
Yeah, but that's good though. At least you guys didn't have the language in between you guys.
No, it was more so of like actions. It was all actions. Like so there was a time where he kept Denali from me. And how he did it was I was staying with my mom in Alabama, and he asked if he could come and get Denali for a couple of weeks.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, sure, of course. And so he did that. So me and my mom got into it at the time, and I ended up moving back to Georgia.
Right.
And so when I got back up here, which was like the ending of that 2 weeks, I'm like, okay, time to get Denali back. He's like, no. He's not coming with you or whatever. So basically, he kept him from me, him and his mom.
Was he doing a good job as a father while he kept him from you?
Oh, listen, I tell everybody this. I tell everybody. Everything that me and him have gone through, I will never take away the fact that he's a great father.
Okay.
Never.
I admire that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I admire that. Even you saying that thing, that speaks volume of you.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. I tell everybody, I don't care what you do to me. As long as you're there for him, that's all I could ever ask for. You know what I'm saying? That's all that matters.
Yeah. So he was a great father, and you still wanted your son. Can I ask why?
What you mean?
You say he took your son. He don't want to give you your son back.
Right.
And you say he was doing a good job. Right. And you
so the thing about that was the thing about him is that he works a lot. You know what I'm saying? So even with that, in the 2 weeks that he had him, he was at his mom's house. So his mom had him. He wasn't really with him like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And even now, you know what I'm saying? He has a wife and, a daughter. And he's, you know what I'm saying? He works a lot.
Yeah.
But
so he's married now?
So he said in court. So he said.
Okay.
So he
got another child. He's married with another child. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So, So really, he be with her.
Yeah.
Most of the time. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So the 2 weeks was up. Let me get my child back. You know what I'm saying? And then we could take turns, whatever.
Right.
I'm up here now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, however you want to do it, we can do it. I keep it for a week. You keep it for a week. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Right.
But it's like you just had him for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But anywho, so juicy story. Yeah, so he kept him or whatever.
Yeah.
So one day I went over there to his mom's house and I was trying to get him. And she's like, "Oh no, like no, you can't take him. You can't take him."
The mom say that? Oh
yes.
no. Oh no.
The mom.
No,
See,
no.
they're Jamaican.
Yeah, I know. But still though, no. See, that's I think when it comes to children, if you didn't take part in making that baby, you got
You
no say
have
so.
no
now.
say so.
Yeah, you got no say so.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
That's just what I believe.
Exactly. So the mom is like, "Oh no, like he's at work at this time."
Nah, you don't
She's
do
like,
that.
"Oh no, like you can't take him, da da da." So I'm like, "What?" So I think the police ended up getting called that day, but the police was saying that I can't even take him because me and him are still legally married.
That's true. Yeah.
And so I was like, "What? He's not even here. What do you mean?"
Yeah, because technically, yeah, he's not keeping the kids from me. He's the father.
Right.
Yeah. But if you guys were never married, they would take the kid and give it to you.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what?
I bet it
So
was
I'm
an
like
eye-opener.
distraught.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm like, okay, bet. So I'm over here thinking of ways of how I can go over there and just snatch him and run out the house or
Right.
whatever. You know, so so like I tried.
Even if you had done that, as long as the child is not hurt, the police can't stop you either.
Right.
They-
Right.
All right. So do you
So-
remember you called the police or who called the police?
Yeah, I think no, they ended up calling the police because
They wanted you to leave. Okay.
they wanted me to leave, right? Because
I see.
we're at his mom's house, right? So boom, another day comes. It was like probably like a few days after this. I'm like, I'm about to go over there,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna act like I'm just going to see him.
Right.
I'm over here. I'm walking in the house, and I'm trying to scope out where his shoes are and just
Right,
everything,
right.
so I could just snatch it and
Right.
run out the house with him, right? And so,
I'm trying to visualize you just walking
please,
around,
so.
trying to be on your best
So,
behavior, so nobody
yeah.
can peep what you're doing.
Right. So, and it's just her over there again. He's
Right.
at work, right? So, so yeah, like I'm like holding him and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm over here like trying to like leave or whatever. She's like, "Oh no!" So she's like pulling him.
No.
Yes.
That's the mother.
the
No.
mother.
no, no,
Yes.
no.
So
That's
she's
wrong.
like trying to take him from me, and I'm like, no. So he's like this between us or whatever. I'm over here trying to, and she's like really like digging to get him, and oh my gosh, the Lord was with me on this day because I wanted to really like take this woman out, take her
don't blame
out. I could not do it, of course, because I'm in her house.
Right.
I would have been in jail, and who knows what, somebody would have been dead.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So, anywho, she ends up like getting him from me or whatever. She's bigger, of course, stronger, everything. So she ends up like snatching him from me or whatever. And so, and I think like pushing me out the house and everything.
But I mean, what I don't understand is she's the grandmother. Why not try to foster a good relationship between you, the father, and your son? Why try to be? Because it seemed like she was the aggressor. It's like you just the I don't know. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You would think that as a grandmother, you want to you want to at least find a way to talk you down, or I don't understand that.
Right. Like, yeah. So I didn't understand it either, but I guess she's like, I'm gonna ride for my son. I don't care.
But that's not the way to do it, though.
It ain't.
Yeah, that's not the way to do it.
But listen, so, yeah. So like he got called, so he rushed from off of work, rushed into the house. Police came and everything. Like the police felt so bad for me, to the point he gave me money because he had took the Nolly's birth certificate that I had.
Mm-hmm.
He took it when I left. Like he held it
Right.
or whatever. And so the police officer, he felt so bad that he gave me money. He was like, "Listen, go down there to this office and get a new birth certificate and take him to court." And you know what I'm saying? He was giving me numbers and everything. He was like, "Please, like, let me know. Call me if you need anything."
That's foul, though. Yeah, no, I think the mom made it worse. And all this was happening. Your son, how old was your son then?
He was I think around like 3 years old.
And he can still see all of this, seeing mom cry, dad coming in angry, grandma's going crazy. You see where trauma starts, though. That's crazy.
Right.
Yeah, I don't understand that. That's just crazy.
So that was like one of the craziest like experiences that like like I just had to deal with or whatever. And like after that.
Let me ask you this though. After you left the house, you were going back to your place or with your friends. What was going through your mind? Like, what was going through your mind? Like, well, you made a big mistake, or
Oh,
you wish it was
definitely.
something, somebody different, or you like, what was going through your mind just after the aftermath of that?
I was just like at those like moments, I'm just like, God, why? Like, why me? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I'm a great mother. Like, I raised him. So yeah, I think like at that moment I was just like, like, just God, why? Because like my whole like journey, even up till now, like I don't really have like the support that I need. You know what I'm saying? Like I never really had like the support for real that I needed. I never had somebody that I could really go to and like get the right resources and like just the right answers from, and or even if I did, I didn't feel comfortable with like going to them about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it wasn't a relationship to where like, we build like that comfortability. So I don't know, I just always felt like alone
Yeah.
in my situation, and which like has never been good for me.
I'm sorry to hear that though. You said something about your mom earlier. So when you and your mom got into it and you decided to move out, was your dad around? Are your parents still married? If I can ask that.
No, yeah. So they never been married.
Okay.
Yeah, and like I never really had my real dad in my life growing up, but I did. I had a stepdad who I called my father, my dad, but he passed away when I was in high school. So
Sorry to hear that.
yeah. So rest in peace to him.
Yeah.
But yeah. So when my story is just so juicy, like
Yeah. No, I mean
so
it's
so okay. So actually, like when I broke up with him and I left, that was the first time, like with my real dad. He was like you know what, like before you do that or whatever, before you make that decision, let me and my wife come over and just have a sit down with you.
This
both.
is your stepdad talking.
No, this is my real dad.
Your real father. Okay.
Yeah, because at the time, like my stepdad, he had passed away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So my real dad, he he was like, let me and my girl whatever come over and talk to you guys, before you plan on,
Make that
before
decision.
you leave him,
Right.
before you break up with him. And prior
Oh,
to
no,
this,
he was saying this to you about your mother or your boyfriend?
boyfriend,
Your husband.
about
then.
husband,
Right.
right. Yeah, so about him, my husband, ex-husband. And so
You got to get that right. I got
that's
you.
so crazy. So
Oh,
he yeah, so and prior to this like sit down, me and my real dad, we had just started like trying to build a relationship. You know what I'm saying? So everything was just very like really fresh, right? So at this point I'm like, okay, I'm accepting him to come into my space that he knows nothing about for real, to like try to help it. You know what I'm saying? So sticky. Um so like so he comes and like it didn't work out or whatever. Fast forward, at the time we were like, just starting to, get everything straight or whatever. So when we had to sit down, it was basically like, they were taking his side because they're looking at it like, okay, well, like he's a real man. Like you're a stay-at-home mom. He takes care of it. He takes.
I was gonna say that, but I didn't want it to come out wrong.
Right.
You know what I mean? And again, it's not to say that she wasn't able to take care of your child or anything like that. But from the outside looking in, and again, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but from the outside looking in, and again, I don't condone what the grandmother was doing. I think that was absolutely crazy. But from the outside looking in, the father works, and he has someone that can look after the child. You know what I mean?
Right.
and you can, you were a stay-home mom, like you said. And it looks like you probably didn't have a decent job at the time.
Right. No job.
No job.
No income.
No income.
Right.
So you want to go pick up the kid. So it's like, okay, what are you going to do to take care of this child financially? You get what I'm saying?
Right.
This is what from the outside looking in. But well, please feel free to correct me.
Yeah. So the conversation, and of course at the time I'm not even like, of course I'm not looking at it like this. I'm not thinking about it like this or anything. So at the time it's like, okay, well, it was like I was like the one being like getting attacked because they're like, why would you leave him?
Yeah.
And he's doing everything, you know what I'm saying? Everything for you and the child. You know what I'm saying? But it's like I was more so coming from a space where it's like I'm not happy, and that should be enough, especially for you being my real dad. That should be enough. You know what I'm saying? But it's like you gotta. There's more to it.
I get it.
You know. So anywho, fast forward.
Well, before we move forward, let me ask you this though: the fact that your father was trying to get you to see things for what they really, were. Do you think? Let me rephrase the question. Your father not taking your side. Are you thankful they didn't take your side then?
No. I'm not.
But you basically had nowhere to take the child.
Because it really wasn't like, he really wasn't like doing the talking. It was really his girl, which was a stranger to me. I've never heard from her ever.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like this stranger is coming in, she's
I see what you mean.
Level-headed and he's just like piggybacking off of her. You know what I'm saying? He's not really saying anything. He's just like, okay, well, if she feel like this, then that's what it is. And,
you're supposed to do it right.
Right. And then, of course, in my eyes, though, I'm like, you're my dad. And even if I am wrong, take me to the side, to the back, and correct me in private.
I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But the whole mistake was me even letting them come into, you know what I'm saying, trying to, when I don't really know you guys.
Right.
So
you and your father, your biological father, you never really had a close-up relationship?
No.
Is it better now?
Nope.
It's still the same?
Nope.
Sorry to hear that, though, yeah.
We don't talk now. No.
It was it because of that incident, or?
That has something to do with it.
Sorry to hear that.
So fast forward, when it was like court stuff. So after that, we didn't like really talk for real after that. Not for real. And so when the courts and stuff got involved, he testified against me.
Your father?
Yep, with him.
No way.
And that's what ended everything.
Hold on.
And I didn't even know. Yeah.
So you guys are going through the divorce?
Divorce, custody, everything.
And your father is sitting across from you, testifying against you.
Yep. I didn't even know.
Hold on. What did you do to this man? I'm not saying you did anything.
Right.
It's like, why though?
Right.
That's crazy.
So, I didn't even know.
Wow.
My son's dad told me out of anger, like, yeah, and that's why your dad is going to testify against you in court with me. And I was just...
That's foul.
Wow.
How's your dad and your mom's relationship, if I can ask that?
Right. So, which is good, too, because growing up, the reason why he wasn't, really in my life is because of her. You know what I'm saying? Yes, my mom. Because she moved me from California to Georgia without telling him.
That's crazy.
And, kept me away from him for years, And because of the anger that she had with him, you know what I'm saying? It had nothing to do with me, And so throughout the years, we would, email each other, me and my dad. We would email each other. I would have to sneak and do it, though.
No.
Yeah, and so he would always ask me, do you want me to fight for you? Do you want me to fight for you? And I'm young. I never knew what you were talking about. Right. You know what I'm saying? And it was never in me to even ask, what you talking about? Right. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm young. I'm not, fight for me? No. Fight what? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so I'm just no. or whatever.
I think that's the mistake that most mothers make.
Oh, definitely.
They take the anger that they have for the father. That child now becomes a pawn into this, adult relationship that have nothing to do with the kid.
Definitely.
And that's one thing
It
that I really
happens all the
speak
time.
against. Yeah. So you were suffering, or you were paying for something that you didn't do.
Exactly.
You needed your father. He was not around because mom didn't want him to be around.
Yep.
Exactly.
And so.
So have you ever felt like, but you said you moved from California to Alabama?
To Georgia.
From California to Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever felt like when you were growing up, your father not coming around as he should, or, emailing like he wants to fight for you or whatever? Have you ever felt like he just didn't do enough, or he wasn't doing enough to be present in your life?
Of course. I always felt like that. And also, too, like me and my siblings, I have 2 older siblings and 1 younger.
Mm-hmm.
And we all have different dads. But everybody had their dad except for me.
Damn,
You know what I'm saying?
that.
So,
Yeah.
But, I had my stepdad. But, it's just always, it's not
It's
the
different.
same.
It's not
You know
the
what I'm
same. That's
saying?
true. Yeah.
It's not the same. So, so, like, everybody, like, they had their dads or whatever. And even with, like, my older brother, like, he didn't have his dad, I think, until high school. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, he didn't have his dad either until, like, a point in time or whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, eventually, like, everybody, I'm saying, like, they had their dads, and I'm just, like, sitting there, like,
Yeah. That's sad, though.
But, yeah, and then, like, one time, like, when my mom, like, she found out that we were emailing each other, she came to my school, checked me out of school, and was just, like, going off on me, like, why are you talking to him, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
That's crazy.
All that type of stuff. And, as I got older, as I got out the house, in college and everything, like, we started like, talking a little bit, trying to, like, build that relationship again. And it didn't work out again because, like, I was going to school. I had a car, this and that or whatever. I was staying with my auntie and uncle in California. Mm-hmm. He stayed in California, too. He stayed, like, an hour away from me.
Wow.
And so, like, my auntie and uncle, they were like, hey, can you, like, put anything, like, on the car? Can you help out with school? Or can
That's you asking your biological father?
Yeah, that was them asking him.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, can you just do anything?
Yeah.
And he stopped talking to all of us.
Damn.
Like, didn't do anything.
So do you think, well, let me ask you this, though. Once you realized that your mom was keeping you from your father, did you get mad at your mother? Have you ever confronted your mother as to why she was doing that? Have you ever had that conversation with her?
I want to say I had. I did have that conversation with her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are you so mad?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Why can't I talk to him? Or, like, what's it to you? Or whatever. I want to say I did.
Yeah.
But it was just at a point in time where it's like, because I said so. I said don't do that. You know what I'm saying?
So she never really explained to you
right
what really happened. Did your dad ever had that conversation with you as to why your mom was acting the way that she was acting, or why he couldn't really be present?
I think it was, like, after the fact, when we were, like, trying to build on the relationship, when I was, like, in college or something.
Right.
And he was just like, I think he just told me, like, yeah, like, she took you to Georgia and without me knowing, and I could have taken her to court for kidnap. And you know what I'm saying? Like,
were they married?
No.
Yeah, you couldn't do that.
Oh well, that's
yeah.
what
I'm actually helping someone right now. His baby mama. I hate that term, but I feel like when it comes to our community, we relate to that that terms more than the mother of anyway. The mother of his child took the baby to Texas, from California to Texas, and he's trying to find a way to get his kids back. If you're not married, it's very hard. It's very hard trying to get you, especially when you cross the border, the state line. It becomes very, very difficult. So that's why I feel your pain, because I deal with this on a daily basis. It's a very, very tough thing, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a tough thing, really is. Because of time, let me ask you a few questions, okay? And then, So a couple of them is actually your story, going through what you went through. Uh, if you had a friend that had a mom that was doing what your mom did to you, keeping you from your father and all this other stuff, and you had the opportunity to advise that mother, what would you say to them?
My friend being the mother or her mom?
Your friend being the mother that's doing that to her son
Oh.
or her daughter.
Oh.
And that's a friend that really trusts you, that really takes
Right.
your advice to heart. What would you say to them?
I would just honestly, I would just say whatever you got, whatever you and the father have going on, that's between you guys. Don't take away anything from that child.
Yeah.
Anything. You know what I'm saying? Because then they're going to probably grow up and, maybe resent you
Yeah.
or resent them
Yeah.
or, whatever the case is. And
Yeah.
you never want that to be the case.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, like it's like as if the father is like helping, let him help. Or if he wants to help, let him help. If he wants to spend time with them, let him spend time with each other. Like it, always kill kindness with kindness.
Yeah, you're right.
Always.
I think the best way to deal with this is just to have an open dialogue where you understand that the father loved the child just as much as the mom loved the child, And I think most mothers sometimes they make it seem like they love the child more than the father loved the child, or they know better than the father. You know what I mean? And you see this a lot. But when you look at the stats, it shows that again, this is against nobody, okay? Just the stats. Right. When you read them, it shows that mother actually do a worse job than fathers do. You know, and again, you know what I mean? Like
right.
when you bring this stuff up, it gets a lot of people upset. But the only way that we can really fix this, and the only way that we can fix this is just to have, a cordial relationship. Right. Just focus on the children. You know what I mean? And another thing is that this stat is somewhat new, where it shows that in this country specifically, mothers are number one baby killers in this country. You know what I mean? And when you read it, like,
which I could see, I can see that. I'm not like, I could see that because of like the postpartum and the stress.
Exactly. I was just
about
to
to say
saying.
That.
Right.
But
It's a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot. Because most mother, what they would do, they would take. I actually had a podcast with an attorney who was going down that route, and she said, the podcast is on my YouTube channel. She said I had to really catch myself because that's what I was doing. But when you start going to postpartum depression, you don't know what you're doing. And when the baby crying all day, every day, the next thing you know, you will act, and then you will, you get back to it. I don't know. I think it just comes down to having a good relationship and understand that he loves that baby just as much as I love that baby. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, because I tell everybody, like, again, like, regardless of like what me and him have going on, he is a good father, and Denali is so loved and he's so happy because he has love from both sides of his family. You know what I'm saying? Like his dad's side, grandma, everything, my side, his grandma, my side, everything. You know what I'm saying? And that is all that matters.
That's what should matter. Yeah. When you
it's so much better.
I like to read the stats when it comes to co-parenting. I would call it. I like to read it a lot because when it comes to this conversation, right? I don't think we should have these conversations based on opinion. You know what I mean? I think we should have these conversations based on fact, based on stats, so we can come to, a well-informed conclusion. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to our children. And I do a lot of juvie works too, right? About 90%, and I'll argue this, about 90% of delinquent children that are in juvie right now, they come from a single mother home.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
And it's just crazy. But all right, so
I definitely feel like it's very important for a child to have both of their parents in their lives.
Absolutely.
It's very important. And even like now with like dating men, or you know what I'm saying, like picking your significant other, you can always tell when they have both of their parents in their lives because they're more balanced.
Yeah.
They're more like open-minded, you know what I'm saying? Like they're more level-headed.
That's true.
Absolutely. As far as like somebody who just coming from a single-parent household, they're more like distraught, or they're more all over the place. Yeah.
Very emotional. Yeah.
Very emotional.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that's real. So if your father was to call you and say, I'm sorry for everything that I've done or didn't do, and I want to have a relationship with you right now, what would you say to him?
I'm very forgiving. I'll forgive anybody.
Yeah.
And I would just be like, okay, because we've been down this road so many times.
Like you said, you got to show me now.
Okay. Yeah. I'm like, whatever. It's just, it is what it is. Like, I'm just at a point to where life is what it is. It's going to be what it's going to be.
Yeah.
My journey is my journey.
I respect that.
Like,
though. Yeah. What do you think about child support?
It's funny that you say that. So, okay.
Break it down for us.
So, all right. So, let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Back once when, okay. So I guess like after, like I moved back up here after the little confrontation me and my mom got, and I moved back up here, and they kept him from me.
Mm-hmm.
He thought I was gonna put him on child support. I was never going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I was never going to put him on child support. So what he did was, that's why, you know what I'm saying, he, I guess, like, had my dad testify against me. Right. And later on down the line, too, like, my dad, he told me, like, oh, yeah, I did that because I didn't want you to keep him from his dad.
So his dad was basically, okay, I see why the dad defended him, because the dad didn't want to see what happened to him happen to your son's father.
Right.
I see. But it still don't make sense, though. But I see why he did what, okay.
Because why wouldn't you come to me?
Right, have that conversation.
Have that conversation with me and make sure you keep me in line to make sure that I don't do happen. That. Or, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Or he could have been like, listen, like, whatever y'all have going on, even if I have to take him to him or whatever, I just really would like if, you know what I'm saying, you keep it open for, you know what I'm saying, them to have a relationship. Period.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, he went about it the wrong way. But I see why he did it, but you're right. He went about it the wrong way.
Yeah, like, I am your only daughter.
Yeah.
Your only child.
Yeah. But it seemed like he was still hurt by what your mom did to him.
Right, or probably even hurt with me. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, moving along. Yeah, so he thought I was going to put him on child support. I wasn't. Basically, he got a better lawyer than I did. My lawyer
Money talk.
Sucked.
Yeah. Money
my
talk.
lawyer sucked. My lawyer, he just wanted my money.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't teach me anything. Yeah. He didn't warn me of anything. He didn't, you know what I'm saying, like, keep me on my toes about anything.
Just want to get paid, right?
He just wanted the money.
Yeah. Right?
So he had a better lawyer than I did. Long story short, about, it's probably like going on 2 years now. Mm-hmm. And my lawyer, I haven't talked to him in probably like a year. He messaged me out of the blue. He emailed me out of the blue and was like, hey, he wants to take you to court on Tuesday.
What?
Yeah. Hey, he wants to take you to court on Tuesday. I got your like last payment or whatever, which he was trying to say that I didn't pay him, and I knew I paid him, had the receipt.
Right.
So, he's like, yeah, but I'm gonna help you on Tuesday or whatever. I'm like, okay, what does he want to take me to court for? Like, what? It's like very out the blue, and everything. And so, and at this time too, prior to this, like, his dad had like already went and put him in school and everything. Like, I had no time to do anything. I guess like his lawyer was like, yeah, hurry up and go do this and hurry up and go do that. Yeah,
because they have to make it seem like, they have to make it seem like the child is in a stable environment.
Exactly.
And then you coming into the picture, you will disrupt that. You
right.
know. It's that's the family court for you.
Right. So. Yeah, so he was like, yeah, I think she's trying to get like some money out of you or something. So I'm just like, okay, so anywho, that's go crazy. On Tuesday. This is like the Tuesday coming up. He said this on a Friday. So he's talking about the Tuesday coming up. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay. So anywho, go to court or whatever, and basically his dad puts me on child support. And he was saying that he only wanted me to see Denali every other weekend.
That's crazy.
So that has been my schedule. I've been on child support, and that has been my schedule for going on 2 years now. Yeah.
Well, you still on that schedule right now?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
I'm still on child support. I pay like $475 a month
For one child.
for one child.
I got somebody that can help you.
Please.
I know someone that can help you. But yeah, we could talk about that off camera, but I know someone that can help you. Yeah, they can help you rectify that problem.
Like,
but for the sake of time, right? I mean, with all of this, let's close with this one. So he put you on child. I think that's actually a better place to close. So he put you on child support.
Yep, he put
and
me
you
on
have a
child
schedule that you have. Basically, you have a visitation schedule with your son.
Yeah.
How do you still find? How are you still cordial with them? Let me ask that question. Because most people in your shoe, right? Mm-hmm. When something like this happen, I don't want to talk to that man anymore.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? I don't want nothing to do with him anymore.
For sure.
You know. So, how did you come to the place to say, you know what? No matter
when
what,
I tell you, that was one of my lowest days in my whole entire life. They made me feel like SHIT. Okay.
Yeah.
Like they made me feel like that. Like. And my mom, she was in town too, because we were about to go to Vegas for our family reunion like the next day.
Yeah. Wow.
And so, but I didn't tell my mom because like I just felt like she wouldn't be there for me like I needed her to be. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, I just have to deal with this on my own.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so it was like one of the lowest days of my life. And
I can
afterwards,
imagine. You don't see too many mothers put on child support and then place on visitations. At least in I don't know. All my years dealing with the family court, right? Mm-hmm. He is one of those people that we call the unicorn. It's very, very rare that you see a man get custody and the mother's on child support mm-hmm. while he works a full-time job.
Right. Oh no! You know wait, listen. I forgot. I missed an important part.
Okay.
I missed an important part. So. Okay, so like after like the whole like them keeping him or whatever, so we got like a little cordial, right?
Right.
So one day like we went out like bowling, and like around this time too, he was like trying to like sugar me up, and you know what I'm saying. So and I'm just like very naive.
Sweet talk you, right?
Yeah, sweet talk me everything, and I'm just
right.
Oh wow, like he's just being a nice person, right?
He changed, right?
He changed. He's a new man. Okay, like very naive, right? So after, I'm saying some drinks and everything, a good time at bowling, we get into the car. He's like, oh yeah, and baby mama, like, he's like, oh yeah, like, he's like, can you, can you please, like, just sign this paper, whatever this paper is, so that I will have primary custody. I want to do this because, like, so you don't put me on child support. Mm. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to make sure you don't put me. I'm just trying to make sure you don't put me on child support. And my dumb butt. And this is the part where I need you ladies to know. Do not do this. I signed it.
So you gave him full custody, or you give your rights away?
I gave him, yep.
You give your rights away?
Yep. I gave it away.
Let me close with this question, okay? That's crazy. I don't know, because I don't want to cuss too much, because this is going to go to a lot of places. I don't want to do too much editing with it, but why would you trick the mother of your child? You know what I mean? To give the rights away. You get what I'm saying? So this is the question that a lot of people are asking.
He had more people, for one, more smarter people, for two, in his corner. He had more support in his corner. I had nobody.
Yeah. But I mean, and to sign your rights, you have to go to court for that, though, because they have to hear your side of the story. But let's just, for closing, I mean, let me ask you this question. A lot of people are going to ask this question, right? Mm-hmm. So you don't like confrontation.
Nope.
He ended up putting you on child support and winning custody. And like I said earlier, you don't see that very often.
Right.
And a lot of people ask this. When you watch this again, you will see a lot of people will ask this. What did you do that I don't know, what did you do to make the court lean on his favor? You don't have to share if you don't want to share it, but I know that is
What
the
did I do?
question that a lot of people are going to ask. Like, you must have done something to make the judge say, you know what, I think the father is the better fit for, to raise this child, and I think mom got to be on child support and so on and so forth. This is just my personal, experience. It takes a lot for a father, even with a good lawyer, to be able to put the mother on child support for one, and to take the child from the mom to the father.
Honestly, it was me signing that paper.
Yeah.
That's really
So
what
you
it
give
was.
it away, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
That's really what it was. But even still, the judge or like nobody was like, well, why did you sign it? You know what I'm saying? Why would you do that?
Right.
Yeah, nobody explained me this paper. I'm like, I'm intoxicated. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, okay, like, yeah, like I told you, I'm not going to put you on child support. So let me prove to you.
But let's clarify the intoxication. That's from the bowling. You guys were drinking a little bit in the bowling.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I don't want nobody to take that,
Yeah,
that
no,
part and mistreat it.
Yeah, from the
okay, so
bowling,
you guys
from
were
our
drinking a
little
little
date.
bit. Right.
Right.
Okay.
So, having a good time. Like, I'm like, okay, we're finally, like, getting, back on track to where, like, we can, like, really co-parent and, like, just have, like, a healthy relationship.
Right.
Like, that's all I ever wanted.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm that type of female, like, whether, like, you get a girlfriend or whatever, I'm trying to, like, still come together as a family. Like, hey, girl, like, like, let's go to eat.
I don't get jealous
like,
very easily.
right.
Yeah, like, I'm cool.
Like,
as long
happy.
as my kids are good.
As long as the kids
cool.
are good and you keeping him happy and away from me.
I'm the exact same way. Yeah, I'm the exact same way. No, I'm the exact same way.
Yeah, so, like, that's how I am or whatever. But, like, at the time, I'm just like, okay, like, we had a good time. Like, well, let me prove to you. Like I said, I wasn't going to put you on child support. Yeah. And I'm not going to put you on child support. So let me prove to you by signing this paper.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't know the ins and outs.
Wow. Well, let's close there. Yeah, let's close there. But I know people that can help you, but let's, so, okay, let me close with this, I guess, this last statement. So after all of this that he have put you through, making you sign, your rights away.
What keeps me still grounded?
What keeps you still grounded?
I have to add this. I have not met his girl. I have not met her.
No, that's not
or anything. And it also too, like one time, like Nolly came home and was like, "Yeah, like my dad told me to call her mom."
No.
Yes.
That's the one thing I always advise the people that follow me, never do that.
Yeah, it's just
have a mother.
Yeah, so my road has just really been like so degrading on my, like, you know what I'm saying, to me.
Yeah.
But what keeps me like still here today and grounded and happy and keeping it pushing is first and foremost God, because I had to pray. I still pray about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I had to pray.
Yeah.
And I pray so much that's why, like, we're actually able to talk and, you know what I'm saying, like, coexist and
forgive him.
And forgive him. You know what I'm saying?
The biggest part. Yeah.
Also, too, definitely forgive. And also, too, just, I don't know, like, I just always have to, like, just kill him with kindness.
Yeah.
He thrives when I'm mad.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, when it juices him up, like, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I just had to be like, you know what? He is crazy.
Yeah.
I want no parts, but my son is good, and that's all that matters. So.
And I see that you are now in a good place with it, mentally. Okay. You can feel that hurt. You can see that hurt in your eyes, but you are in a good place now. You know what I mean? So I applaud you for it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't easy, and I'm sorry that you had to go through something like that. And one thing that I always push, man, at the end of the day, I have a massive fathers group online, massive. And I always tell them, we have to find a way to nurture or to foster a better relationship with our significant others, man. And be happy for them if, they have decided to move on. As long as the person that they are with, it's nobody crazy, your children are happy, you know what I mean? We have to kill this baby mama, baby daddy drama. You know what I'm saying? Let's find a way to co-parent and raise healthy children. We don't have to live in the same house for us to raise healthy children. We don't have to be in a romantic relationship for us to raise healthy children.
Right.
You know what I mean? So with that, I thank you so much for being here. I know it wasn't easy sharing what you shared. You know what I'm saying? So I thank you for, honestly, I really do thank you for being open, for being honest, for giving us basically a little bit of access into your life to help somebody out there become a better mother.
I really hope that
it will. I promise you it will.
Because I don't tell nobody.
I really do
So.
appreciate you. You know what I mean? I really do. So your businesses, you wanna give any shout out or anything like that for your businesses, or?
I mean, you guys can just follow me, keep in touch on Instagram.
And I'm gonna link your Instagram. If you have a website, I'll link that as well.
Okay.
And of course your Airbnb. We're gonna show the pictures. If you got videos of the house or anything like that, we're gonna show that as well.
Yeah.
Your trucking business. If you got the informations, we're gonna put it up as well.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. So I'm just working on my entrepreneurship.
That's beautiful.
And you know, more to come.
Yeah.
You know, you can never. I'm very creative, so
yeah, that's dope.
Definitely
that's
not
dope.
stopping.
I'm really
there.
happy for you. Yeah, I'm happy for you, and I thank you truly for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
I'm glad we talked about this and stuff. It's very important.
Yeah.
So.
Like we can go all. I mean, not all day, but at least for a couple more hours. But I'm trying to see. We have to make the content digestible. If you make it too long, people lose. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I try to keep most of the podcast within an hour and 30 minutes, something like that, you know. So we are basically getting in about 15 minutes. We're gonna get there. So again, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I give you the last word. Anything else you want to add before we go?
No. Just let him know if you guys want a part 2.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Okay, I appreciate it.